Hey everybody, welcome to Indie Games Level Up. I'm your host, Phil Lubensky. This episode is coming to you from MIGS, the Montreal International Games Summit.
So I'm here with Radek Koncewicz from Incubator Games. You started off as a service company, so was it always in your plans to develop your own IP?
Yeah, definitely. That was more of a means to an end. Trudy was one of the games we always wanted to do, and that was something we always kind of prototyped on the side. The challenge is really always the same. It's about having the funds, right? The money to actually do what you need to do. And one of the reasons it's taken us actually this long to make Trudy was that we're fairly conservative in how we kind of scaled up and how we spent our money. When I actually first got the idea for Trudy, it's kind of an odd story. I was coming back home and I saw a streetcar I was taking in Toronto, and I was slowly walking there. You know, he had his doors open, and the driver kind of looked at me as about to go on, and he closed the door and drove away. So I'm just standing there miserable, like in disbelief that this guy just drove away from me. And, you know, I just started like having like weird scenarios of just like what would be a just punishment for him. He was so content, I think, driving his streetcar, I figured, you know what, he should just be fused to that chair, then he'll be in his realm. It kind of got the ball rolling of this weird fusions of industrial jobs where people are kind of welded into the technology. Trudy's Mechanicals is a turn-based tactics game. A lot of the gameplay we aimed to kind of make it feel more kinetic rather than like an abstract board game. The environment itself, we also try to make it like 3D. It's fully rotatable, it's also interactive, you can take elevators, you can blow things up. A lot of the gameplay revolves around just the units being different and interacting with the environment in different ways. So one of our units, for example, is essentially a mobile trash compactor. He doesn't have the best of lives, he's a bit kind of, you know, a little bit miserable about it. But the way he plays essentially opens up his front door, that is his body, and he can suck people in from afar. He also gets to resupply ammunitions and kind of help out the other guys. And that's the kind of mentality we tried to kind of design each unit in the game with.
The steampunk art is really striking. How did you go about developing the look of the world in Trudy's Mechanicals?
We based it more on kind of Slavic conventions and customs rather than the British ones. Instead of maybe the more traditional top hats and canes, you see maybe a fur hat or feathers in their caps. It's also just hairstyles and facial hair. It's a little bit different. There's not quite as many mutton chops. So those are kind of the cues we wanted to take and just give it a different kind of flavor compared to other steampunk games.